those who do not fear death. Why? If you ever need help, then please know that there are many qualified people who would like to help you. https://www.iasp.info/resources/crisis_centers. http://www.befrienders.org/ http://www.suicidepreventionlifeline.org/ get help/lifelinechat.usps. http://www.samaritans.org/ how we can help you. UK. https://www.lifeline.org.au/ get help/. There are crisis services worldwide that are trained to provide support. They are designed to give temporary relief from feelings that are overwhelming you, and while they are unlikely to fix any underlying problems, can help you get through a tough hour/night/week. Chat services are usually available on these sites. In the U.S., calling 211 or going to their website is a free referral source. They have providers who will see you regardless of your ability to pay. Just as you would see a doctor when you are sick, you deserve to take care of your mental health. To expand upon this, Epicurus made the argument that your own death can be considered to simply not exist, because it isn't. You can experience others being dead, but it's impossible to experience yourself being dead. Fear dying and pain all you like, but to fear death isn't really logical. Also, even though it's scary and a bit of an existential paradox to have to face down the concept of infinity, it's the best option. What, am I going to live forever, go insane by spending a quadrillion years cognizant? Nah, no thanks. I'm 31 and already riddled with mental illness. It's weird, but I am going to go out like this. I have an incurable disease that will kill me slowly. It was rapidly progressing for years, but it's kinda calmed down. I just live in constant denial and forget that one day I am going to die from it. Not even a transplant will save me, because there is a high chance the disease will come back in my new liver and the process will repeat. I am the burden others in this comment section worry about becoming. The only way I can cope is to deny it, like I know logically it's going to kill me and all my doctors know too, but we don't talk about it. It's a constant pain every single day, and I've been through a stupid number of surgeries to slow it down, or else I'd be long dead right now. I'm actually not so afraid of my death like this because it's familiar and I already know what the pain feels like, so it will be the same pain, just getting worse and worse, if that makes sense. My grandfather died of a massive heart attack at 64. My grandmother said she was glad he didn't survive that. She didn't want him to have to deal with being taken care of. She's still glad he died when he did, because he isn't seeing her having to be taken care of at 80. Meanwhile, I think I'm a selfish shit because I hope I die before my husband. I don't think I could exist without him, and I'm confident he'll be fine without me. I'm usually a push through to get to the other side kind of gal. If I can't see the other side, I'm not sure I'd have the will to continue. I'm not scared of death or even dying. Living is significantly more taxing. Right there with you, and sorry to hear about your wife. Death, if it's not a violent one, can bring so much peace and surrendering. Obviously, it's different for everyone. Every circumstance, culture, person, family, support system, and belief system approaches death differently. I took care of my dad while he was on hospice, cancer, and it was the most difficult, healing, and profound experience of my life. He had so much clarity and openness. Death is peace. What I fear is chronic illness, unbearable pain, being elderly and alone, but not death. I used to fear being alone, losing friends and family, but people I should have been able to count on have hurt me so many times that I ended a few relationships in 2019, and I gotta say, I feel much better. I finally realized being around people who make me feel lonely is worse than actually being alone. Now I'm not gonna lie and say I'm happy. It's not ideal. I still would like someone to be there for me, but I am happier having the ones who made me feel lonely be gone. I think people misunderstand the question. We aren't afraid of dying. That's inevitable. We're afraid of dying early and not getting to enjoy things the way we expected to. I fear not getting to grow old with my wife. I fear missing out on all those future games and movies that haven't come out yet, on seeing humanity colonize other planets. I fear death of my children, where I'll never get to see them grow up. It's purely rational to fear death, but it's context that matters. Yeah, all these because it's inevitable responses are bullshit. If your imminent demise is right in front of you, most people are going to be terrified regardless of the whole "it's not like I'll know it once I'm dead." You don't fear death, you fear having your life end. Maybe it's not on your terms, it's too soon, or you're realizing you have so many things left unsaid or undone. Being dead is easy, but being aware that these are your last moments of existence, that's the part that will scare you. Exactly. It's easy to sit here in the comfort of your home all safe and sound and write "I don't fear death," but we all do. It's basic human instinct to fear death, even if we rationally understand that it is inevitable and that we are all going to die one day. If I was in a life-threatening situation, obviously I would be goddamn terrified and I would be doing everything I could to preserve my life. I do fear death and I'm not embarrassed to admit it. I've been crippled by an autoimmune disease for 11 years. I'm a passenger on a train called life, watching the world go by as I can do fuck all to stop the ride. Not existing and stopping the pain would be a marked improvement over my current condition. I've known no love, no happiness, no brightness, no friendships and no luck in life. All I've ever known was solitude, misery, depression, anxiety, and in the last 11 years of my life, almost constant pain comparable to nerve damage. If I was a dog you wouldn't hesitate to shoot me, because even taking me to a vet would be cruel since it's delaying the end. I live with chronic illness. I can't stand for more than 30 seconds. I also have severe nerve damage. I'm also trying to raise 2 kids under 6 while not being able to do the things I want or need to do for them. You are not alone. When I am in the depths of despair, I think to myself there are others who understand this feeling. It doesn't make it better to know others suffer, but it does make me feel more understood. I know we have no choice in the matter, but it still makes you brave to keep going. I get the intent here and it sounds logical, yet my brain sees this as absolutely no reason to not be worried, like I put it in the back of my mind. But occasionally I'll think about it and the vastness of death is nearly incomprehensible. One day you are just gone and that's it, forever, never to experience anything again. It's really cruel tbh. Life is full of awesome things and to just say yep, it's over now. You won't remember anything or have any existence at all, so there really was no point except to rip that rug out from under you. It's almost like we would have been better off just not being here at all. That is, unless you believe in an afterlife. I suppose that is some level of comfort, but I'm a realist, so I tend to see things how they are and not some belief structure that has no basis of proof. If we had some factual premise of an afterlife, it'd be a much easier pill to swallow. I've never told anyone this, but I once had an accident when I was younger where I hit my head. I don't remember the accident fully, but it was pretty bad, and while I was unconscious I encountered this limbo of peacefulness. It was dark, but it wasn't anything but warmth and just utter peace, yet I was aware that I wasn't awake, and outside of it I was hurt pretty bad. But right before I woke up everything sped up really fast. Quite frankly, I've never felt anything like it before, nor have experienced since. I agree with your point, but sometimes it does pay to worry, care about the inevitability of, say, NCOT test. Most people know death is inevitable and still fear it. For me, I always summed it up as this, and it works for everyone no matter what you believe. When we die, there are only 2 possible things that can happen afterwards. An eternal sleep, complete peace and the absence of consciousness, the acquisition of new knowledge, whether it's heaven, hell, reincarnation, etc. We can't possibly know, and probably none of those things are right, but if there is an afterlife of some kind, how fascinating a discovery that would be. I don't know about you, but I like both of these outcomes, therefore, why fear them? Same. My job, firefighter and EMT carries an increased risk of several types of cancer, higher suicide rate, and of course dying a horrible death. I love what I do and accepted whatever fate brings me, but seeing what I see every day has made me appreciate life more. I try to do whatever makes me happy and not worry about what others think. Time is short and you will never know the day when you are dead. Make the most of what you can. I've died before, it's just no experience. I had a heart operation that had complications. The nerve center of my heart was damaged and my heart stopped. Luckily I was still in the hospital and I was revived, but my heart kept stopping. After about 12 episodes, the doctor got a pacemaker and my heart was beating again. My dad was in the room when it happened. One moment I was talking to him, and the next moment I had a medical team working on me. I asked him later how long I was out. He said about 5 minutes the first time, but I was wheeled out after that. From when my heart stopped to when I came to, I had no experience. It was like jumping forward in time. So I figure that's what death is like. You don't even know it when it happens. I don't believe in a god or an afterlife. Life is survival. It's full of pain and we try to constantly adapt. Death is mercy. See those who have lived for so long. Almost all of them wish to die already. So many years of pain. To me, this life feels like a prison. You can do and do and do. You will lose it all in the end, for we never really had nothing. We started as nothing and we end as nothing, yet ironically our ego soars high. Why do I live then? I believe every one of us has a role to contribute within the bigger picture, and that's what makes us something. This role, our wealth doesn't matter. Our power doesn't matter. Our fame doesn't matter. Time wipes it all eventually. Only our actions might matter. The deeds, the role. I believe once a living accomplish their role, their usefulness in this life ceases to exist, so they die. This world has equilibrium. It seems optimized and accurately calculated and efficient, no matter how hard we try to make it otherwise, because we can only comprehend the small equations, but our simple minds are oblivious to the large equations, let alone endless ones. I live because it seems I still have more to accomplish in this life, for I have not died yet, and when death visits, I shall welcome cheerfully with open arms. I do wish it's a good death though. I'd really be saddened if it ends with bad death. Wish me a good death. 3. Advice: don't get attached to this life so much. It is temporary. Life is borrowed time. Use it to discover and learn. Do something good. Contribute to the bigger picture. Live for a few longer years in history as someone the coming generations love and respect rather than another unknown. As long as you still draw breath, you still have a chance. It's never too late. Even a nice word to a stranger for nothing could mean a lot. Imagine if all people told each other nice words. Treated others nicely, even if strangers, even if they get nothing in return. The bigger picture would be a more peaceful and lovely world with less depression, less negative energy, less anxiety, less fury, less hatred. Be one of the first to contribute towards to this peaceful world. As long as everybody gives up and doesn't contribute towards peace and love, we are stuck in this hellhole of hatred, envy, war, depression, anxiety, sadness, fury. Somebody has to start. Edit. Thanks for the love, guys, and special thanks to whoever gave the awards. Safety and peace. Smile. I've been thinking about it for a while. It is inevitable and it is natural. Either two things happen after you die. You go somewhere or it's oblivion. If we go back to the same place we were before we were born, there's nothing wrong with that. We were there for billions or trillions of years, possibly infinity. You lose that concept of time since your brain doesn't work anymore, so you don't even know it's over. It's not nothing because nothing would be something, and that means that you are aware, which you cannot be if you're dead. If we do go somewhere, then that's something no one understands because no one has ever came back to tell us. Those stories of people coming back after they died and saw stuff weren't really dead. Their hearts stopped but their brains were still working. If the universe continues to recycle itself infinitely, then there's a chance we will be reborn but have no memory of our previous selves. I do not fear death because I am totally fine with any of these results. I've wondered if there could be such a thing as, I guess I'll call it non-spiritual reincarnation. wherein in an infinite future, the circumstances that led to our individual consciousness arising once could inevitably lead to it happening again. Maybe it won't happen for a quadrillion years, or maybe until after the universe had died and been reborn 5 times, because if it happened once, it could happen again. Of course, I'll never know if this is true or false, in this life or any potential future ones. Maybe we only get one life, but if the future really is infinite, and everyone underestimates infinity, then it seems like what happens once would eventually happen again. Being fortunate enough to have severe depression when I was 12. It started years before that, possibly when I was in 4th grade. Difference was that the self-harm started in 7th grade, so I've spent my entire teenage years pondering life and contemplating suicide. Yeah, I don't smile much. Hours before my suicide it was like the puzzle solved itself, like it also does for most of those that survive suicides and quite likely for those that die. So I had to seek some meaning to all this, and that was death. I feel like I lived past my death. You could say I am reborn, which explains why I have a hard time remembering anything before I was 18. Alcoholism and insomnia sure didn't help with my memory. I am now 22 and life is just starting to look not too terrible. I live every day as if it's my last. There is no point in living in the future or the past. However shit my life has been, I will still die happy knowing it was my life. And death just feels like an old acquaintance of mine. I've got nothing to fear from old Gramps Reaper. 3 reasons. Matter can't be created or destroyed. The human mind is usually bound by what we are able to perceive, experience. Time is a human construct that serves only to organize, categorize the world that we ourselves have constructed. We are all made up of physical matter, atoms arranged in a certain way that make up the human form. We seem to view death as an endpoint because it is the end of our ability to perceive things. This concept is flawed and I'm a little bit arrogant because it is defined only by our own past experiences. Every single person on this earth has experienced things firsthand that they once believed they never would. We all learn, progress, age, etc. It's a constant state of change. To even use the word constant is a bit silly. When we die, the atoms that make us up don't cease to exist, they reassemble. Flesh decomposes, becomes dirt, ash or whatever else, becomes a tree or something, and on and on. I'm not going to claim to know what happens to our consciousness after we die. I think anyone that is trying to sell you something. Maybe nothing. Maybe we commune with the Supreme Being. Maybe. Who knows? Nobody, that's who. What we do know is that nothing goes away. The whole universe is just a soup of matter that's always rearranging itself. There may be design behind all that, maybe not. I'm certainly not the guy to answer that question, but I will say that when we die, we're just changing shapes. We're not ceasing to exist. I take comfort in that. I'm not religious at all, and I don't believe in afterlife, heaven, hell, and all that stuff. So, for me death isn't scary so much as it is comforting. Everything will just be over and I'll be gone. Nothing will matter because I'm no longer around to worry about anything. Sure, while I'm alive I'm sad for the people I'll leave behind, who will be grieving my death. Losing a loved one is incredibly painful and I hate to think about my son experiencing it, but it's also inevitable and there's no point railing against it. For myself, when I'm dead, even that won't matter because I won't know of their pain. I'm not gonna be aware of anything, ever again. Just like before I was conceived. Obviously, I could be wrong and die, and suddenly it's not just non-existence, but omnipotence, or maybe there is a God and I'm gonna be like, oh, hey, so, you are real. Being dead sounds easy to me. It is natural and going to happen to everyone. Fearing it is natural, as instinct is geared towards self-preservation. Personally, I lost the fear towards death at a very young age. Nothing crazy happened, but I just started thinking about a lot of things. My child mind started with God is like Santa. He isn't really real. Quickly went to everyone dies. And then to dying is okay, but I will not be excited for it. I think also modern culture has more of a you don't matter vibe to the individual, which can cause people to lose the sense of self and in turn self-preservation.